Hey everybody, it's John from the Chainwax podcast. It's a little late in the day. I'm coming to you from a different location than normal. You probably hear a lot of noises. And if these guys start getting loud, I'll have to hit pause. Say hi, Red. Come here, Red. Red doesn't like the camera. Normally he's very vocal. So yeah, just hanging out outside after day number 5 on the bike, and I must say 5 days of the same lap. Well, today I did about 1,000 feet of climbing, and it feels really good to get the shape fitness back that quick. Sort of fast tracking it, just doing the real basic stuff, just basically a good 45 minutes of zone 2, and then a good I think it would be about a 35-minute hill climb, about 1,000 feet, mostly standing, and yeah, it really does get you in shape quick. So that's 5 days in a row. Haven't done that in a while, and boy, what a difference. All this to test the new formula of Uber Clear in the sort of summer conditions that are already here. And this is me at the top of Rocky Peaks, just taking a break there. Only chance I had to take a photo this week. Just don't even think about it till the ride's over. But yeah, this would be on my way back to the house, that brutal climb up to my street. So all of a sudden, there's just a ton of chain checker news all of a sudden. And, I think the industry may be getting the hint. I mean, I've been saying this for a long time that, that $1,000 a year you spend on your drivetrain replacing chains and freewheels and, cassettes and all these things and chain rings, that $1,000 to $3,000, depending on who you are, that's not fun to spend that kind of money on your bike just to get back to zero. You basically have an unrideable bike with a stretched out chain and cassette, and that kind of money it's like going to the gas station. There's nothing fun about putting $100 in your gas tank. I can think of a lot more fun things to do with $100, like a nice dinner or some clothes, something you enjoy spending the money. It's the same kind of concept. I've been saying it for years, that if you free up this crazy monotonous drivetrain maintenance and expenses, people might actually enjoy riding their expensive mountain bikes and want to buy new grips and tires and seats and pedals and things and helmets and shoes and stuff, and instead of just going, oh man, another month and another $150 on my tires and drivetrain. So this is one that came out today, the Lost Co. I guess it's a good little bike shop. I've never been there. There's a reason the new chain checkers. There's a reason they come with 3 pins now instead of 2, and that's to get rid of the chain slop that I've talked about in previous podcasts. So even Shimano's giving away a free chain checker with new chain purchases now, according to this article. Caring for your bike. This initiative is part of its global concept, Caring for Your Bike. It aims to raise awareness among both amateur and advanced cyclists about the importance of periodically checking for chain stretch, simple maintenance tasks that can prevent much more costly transmission failures. Because the bike industry is suffering so bad that this is a real turnoff when you go in to just maybe get a new tire put on your bike if you're an amateur, and you go to the bike shop and you find out, oh, hey, I got to spend $500 I wasn't planning just by walking in here because nobody told me to do this. See, they never told you to do this before. When I was a kid, we would ride our BMX bikes pretty much till the chains fell off, and at one point. And then I started swapping chain rings for different tracks and realized the importance of this. So I always kept a new chain on my bike when I was a kid. But nobody told me about the chain checker. I don't even know if they had them back then. I honestly don't even know. We're talking almost 50 years ago, 45 years ago. And Well, this one here is, it's a good start. It does measure from one inside pin, one inside of the roller to the other inside of the roller, where the three pin checkers measure from the same side of the rollers, and that way it eliminates the chain slop, which is sort of missed in that video I just pointed out. So this is really pointing out how you definitely need the 3-pin one to measure your SRAM T-type chain, because the roller is slightly larger, so your standard measuring tool doesn't work with a two-point checker. And now we have a train going by. It's a little loud. Hold on a second. So this increasing awareness campaign by Shimano, I think that's pretty great. Just sort of came out of the blue. This whole waxing phenomenon just blew up after Sea Otter show I did in 2019, debuting our products. Lots of people jumping on board this. They're usually going with other products with huge marketing budgets. I can understand that. If you've never heard of it before, and these people spend $1,000 a day on Instagram ads and whatnot, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a heavily marketed product that is sort of jumping on the bandwagon. It's one after another now. But unfortunately, they all fall short in one way or another. They're all really pushing the hot melt chain lube stuff. There's so many of these companies, and it's $50 for a bag of wax, and you got all the hassle, and you got to take the chain off, and you got to thoroughly clean it, or else you're wasting your time. And then they sell you a top-off formula. And the conundrum there is, well, if the top-off formula is so good, why do you need the wax dip chain? And if the wax dip's so good and lasts so long, why would you need a top-off formula? So, in addition to a crock pot and stripper and degreaser and all this time removing the chain, compromising your quick link, you still got to buy a $16 top-off formula. And then, or you have to dip your chain every time. And if you want to go out on a ride and you haven't dipped your chain, well, that ride you didn't maintain your chain on, you're going to do all the wear and tear on 1 or 2 rides if you don't stay on top of it. So we think just topping off your chain every ride or two as part of your pre-ride itinerary, pumping up tires, cleaning stanchions, checking your cables, checking your brakes for if they need to be bled, those sorts of things. It's just a better way to go. It's the way most people are doing it now anyway. The wax dipping thing has really become really an overhyped thing. It's over-exaggerated, the benefits that they claim. They've all started out saying hundreds and hundreds of miles between applications, and now the latest is really, especially on a mountain bike, an XC mountain bike with a bald front tire, you're looking at 6 hours before you can feel the difference. So ours is much simpler and goes a lot longer than that. That's little Johan, and he's getting ready to go to bed pretty soon here. So we just think that it's not worth it to get so heavily invested in these new gadgets and this trend, because it really is a trend. You can tell by how heavily the marketing is if something is genuine, organic or not. And the fact that these setups are $200 to get started with your different wax bags and chips and crock pots and things and stripper you got to buy, and then and plus all your time. I mean, so not only is it a couple $100 to get set up to take your Saturday mornings and turn it into this project every week, it's your time when you should be out riding and enjoying the time, like I did the last 5 days in a row. Now, if I had to spend 45 minutes cleaning my chain, it wouldn't have happened. I just topped mine off ever so little since the rides weren't real long. I am testing the new formula to see how it handles in the dust and in the heat and in the torque, because when I'm doing these standing climbs, it's about 800,000 watts. These are steep sections here, and it really does squeeze out most of the other lubes on the market. My 5311 holds up really well to this once it's established, but this new formula, reformulated Uberclear is a little softer. It's meant to work with the Darkmatter as a you know, you put the Darkmatter on and you can ride several rides with it. This is to touch up your this is to top off your Darkmatter chain to keep the rollers filled with fresh wax. And you can use 5311 for the same thing if you're on just a regular bike and you just want to not use the e-bike formulas. Just the 5311 by itself is fine. If you are doing a lot of standing climbing, you might want to get a little bottle of Darkmatter to help with the high torque that's involved in that. I basically ride my bike like a single speed when I'm doing these sorts of climb intervals like this, and there's just so much tension on the chain the whole time. You're pushing, you're pulling. Whereas if I sit and spinning, it's definitely a different deal. The chain, but so to be a little more clear, I just took a break and listened back to the last 5 minutes there. The Darkmatter can be topped off with 5311 on a regular bike, on an e-bike as well. But we did develop the Uberclear specifically for e-bikes for the torque. And I was thinking about it earlier about divulging some of the ingredients in the Uberclear because it basically has a microcarbon in there in abundance. And what that does with the formula I'm working on, hold on a second. So many distractions outside. I'm not sure what. Sorry about that. There's like a flashing light coming from the hillside, and I have no idea what it is. Never seen that before. Where was I? Well, whatever it was as bright as the sun, and now it's gone. So, yeah, I was talking about the formula for the Uberclear, which is, you know, I'm not too worried about that. It's actually a pretty simple formula, but it does a wonderful job. And now the flashing light is back. Oh my God, it's just one thing after another. Okay, so what it has in it, it's like a nano micro, very small. I mean, talking fractions and hundredths of a micron. It's not really nano. There are some nanoparticles in there, but I don't call any of my products this nano graphene stuff or anything, because that's all marketing jargon. That's all. We know graphene's expensive, so let's call a chain lube that and charge $150 a bottle. The truth is that graphite on that level for a bicycle chain does almost nothing. It's too small to cause any metal-to-metal separation. It's too small to even enhance the lubrication at all. There's a certain size that works, and that's actually too small. And people are just going on this bandwagon because they are justifying this crazy price tag that goes with the products. Lots of companies use this sort of marketing jargon, claiming their ingredients have this benefit. These lubes have fallen into two categories of, you've got your top end money's no object customer they're going for, and then you've got like the muck off style stuff where it's generally pretty affordable, but it does wear out your drivetrain. So either way, you're paying out the nose for it, either in the product itself and the gizmos you need and the crockpot melters and all the strippers, or you're buying a new drivetrain every year, or maybe even twice or three times a year. So yeah, the marketing behind this waxing thing is really, I think the only thing that's come up lately that's even comparable is the whole mini pump thing. It's like everybody was trying to sell you a $100 mini pump last year. And the truth about those things is they get really hot. They have a short lifespan. They only pump up a couple of tires before they're not effective, and they're super loud and annoying. But it was a way to make $100 off, hundreds of thousands of cyclists. So, You can tell a product is basically BS by the amount of marketing that's behind it. Let me think. You know, like what, for instance, what does McDonald's spend a year on their TV ads? It's a product that's no good for you, your kids, or anybody. And yet it's been around for 100 years and they still need to put TV ads on every day. Why is that? You know, it's a form of brainwashing is what it is. That's what marketing is. You know, I've been in marketing for 30 plus years now, and I try to only sell top quality products as a distributor through my career. Only pick products that basically sell themselves and don't have a lot of returns and don't have any buyer remorse involved with it. So when I got into this chain lube, actually into the bike business in general, it was I started with my chain rings, took a little pause to sell somebody else's product for about 8 years, and then I came back with the SAG card and started working on this chain lube problem further. But this whole mystique that's around this waxing thing that they're trying to do is really just a bunch of marketing nonsense, because it's about making a bunch of money off you up front rather than you wearing out your chain and having to buy parts later. And the good news about that is that it does give you better performance. That's a great thing, but it does take a lot of time. Our product gets around the wasting the time to achieve the same results, and I think our products do even better than that now. So the whole marginal gains thing, that's a whole market on the high-end nano side of the coin here, where the people are claiming their product has graphene in it and stuff, and it's a bunch of nonsense is what it is. Graphene chain lube is not do anything better than the correct size lubrication particles in the correct quantities. And the correct lubrication particles don't cost $100 an ounce or whatever these so-called nanoparticles are. Now ours has some in there inherently, but I don't claim that's for the market. I don't want to get involved in that kind of labeling on the product because it's misleading. So anyway, I had AI try to make a sticker for me. This is what Dick came up with. Powered of dark matter. I think I wanted him to say powered by dark matter, not sure. But anyway, our dark matter is our most heavy duty chain lube yet. Update is I'm still working on the motorcycle formula, and just got a lot of things going on at the same time. The brake rotor restore formula is ready to sell. I just don't have labels for it yet, and I've been waiting for artists to come through for me. It's been really, really tough, and that project is next on the list once this current project is done, and then hopefully the brake restore formula will go on the website soon. I think people that want to quiet down your noisy brakes would be able to use it as well, like people that do the bike park and how loud things get. The restore formula can also be used to quiet down your existing stuff, even if it's not contaminated. So, and that's our brake rotor restore formula right there. Came up with this about 4 years ago and just never thought it'd be worth pursuing, but I made up some batches, fixed my bikes, fixed my friends' bikes. It's worked on every time, and I figured, well, I'll make up some batches and throw them in some bottles and sit them on a shelf for a year and see how they hold up. And they hold up just fine sitting on the shelf. So that's what it looks like. Magic little liquid right there. Nobody's been able to figure that out in 20 years plus of mountain bike disc brakes. So chains have been on equipment for many, many years. I think our product has solved this problem that goes way, way back. These are the Wright brothers in the first airplane, made out of a lot of bicycle parts. There's a chain ring and a bicycle chain right there behind his head. And, these guys came up with some amazing ideas, working in a bike shop, thinking all day. And I kind of did the same thing, but I just was thinking about chain lube and how to make it not such a nightmare. Now, their invention has changed the world for everybody on earth. My invention really is only going to change your life for avid cyclists and casual cyclists that don't want to deal with this problem anymore. And if you have kids, you know, they won't come home with dirty pants anymore. That's a whole nother thing. Just get some Formula 1.2 for your kids' bikes. You'll see. Super clean. And no removing a quick link ever to get there. You do this all on the bike. Link will be in the description and the first comment of the application videos in the playlist titled Application Videos here on this channel. And we do have a Spotify account under Chainwax Podcast. You can look us up if you want to listen in the car. I noticed the Spotify app uses a lot less battery. I listened to the Loam Wolf podcast on there and a couple others. And it uses a lot less battery in my phone when I'm listening, rather than YouTube, that is. And a lot less data, I believe. So, quite a few YouTubers think ours is the best chain lube out there. And people with dozens of years experience. Red's getting a little vocal right now. And as soon as I point the camera at him, he's quiet again. Okay, buddy. So, yeah, old guy in a bike. He was the first one to do a review of ours after a year, and then a 3-year, and then did a 6-year review last October. And there'll be a link to his channel as well. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to spend a ton of money on your chain maintenance anymore. You're not going to believe it. If I haven't mentioned it in a while on a podcast, your chain's going to last 6,000 miles to 10,000 miles on your mountain bike. How about that? Okay? Guarantee it. All you got to do is keep up on it. That's all you got to do. And with no effort. So, you know, to do 10,000, let's say, because I do 6,000. I'm actually pushing 7,000 now on a chain on my other bike. But 3 years, it's got about almost 7,000 miles on the SB45 now, and it's almost time to change that chain. It's still well below 25% wear. I'm talking about 25% wear on a chain checker. I've still got to 50 before I'm supposed to even change it. So I'm only halfway there at almost 7,000 miles on a pedal bike, okay, in 3 years. And that's attributed to our 5311. That was the primary lube on that bike all that time. I did use a little Darkmatter during winter for some muddy rides, but other than that, it's been 5311 for 3.5 years now in June. I put that chain on in January of 2023, and now it is, yes, 3.5 years, 7,000 miles on that bike, and then, you know, 6,000 miles on my 5.5, another 5,000 on my my SB100, and probably a few thousand on my SB6. Those are my main trail bikes. So yeah, this was one of the first reviews from Old Guy in a Bike channel, and this looks like it's the one he did last October after 6 years of using my product consistently. Lots of miles, same results, and he didn't even put it on as often as I did. He was doing it every 2, 3, 4 rides, and still got the same type of mileage I get. Well, that's Toby the Doberman next door, and he's being very loud, so might be time to take a pause here. So anyway, it's the Chainwax Podcast. It's a Wednesday. I'm just finished ride number 5 this week, and I feel so much better. Really was quite an effort to get out there that consistently with how busy everything is. But taking away all that time-consuming chain maintenance helped make that possible, because I was able to just jump on, pump the tires, and go really quick each time. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time. By the way, if you've just ordered and you have any questions, please feel free to reach out with an email or a phone call. If you have any questions about an application or storing the product or these type of things, feel free to reach out and call anytime. We want to get get it to where you have the best experience you've ever had maintaining your bike. And it's not hard to get there. You just got to learn maybe a couple things. Keeping the product warm when it's cold outside is key to making it flow well and apply easily. So store it at room temperature, and if it's a little cold, set it in the sun for 10 minutes, shake it up. What that does is it breaks the little bond. It's sort of like a surface tension within the lube itself when it's been sitting for a few days. When you shake it up, the alcohol breaks that surface tension within the lube itself, and that frees it up a lot just in itself. So, okay. All right, guys. I think I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate all my customers, and